high school as a sophomore. In the fall of 1978, I was asked by our head coach at that time, Ken Brace, to play quarterback. I'm like, okay. Never played quarterback in my life, never played football in my life, other than for Terry's touch team at the rec center at Weller Road. And started these workouts, and Ron Sterling's doing the workouts with the throwing the passes and stuff, and he says, okay, what's the cadence going to be? I looked at him and said, what's a cadence? So he explained to me what that was, and that's where I started. And then we got into the season, and I meet guys like Keith Danino, Ed Tippett, Jimmy Nix, Rich Prather. And these guys were just bigger than life to me. They were unbelievable athletes. They could all play. They were incredible people. And I get into a scrimmage, and for some reason, they start me in the second scrimmage at quarterback against WJ. And I'm as nervous as a cat on a hot tin roof. Kenny Brace walks over to me, puts his arm around me, and he says, relax. All you're going to do is hand the ball to Richard. Damn, I can do that and win 9 games. We can do this. This guy was such an inspiration to me as a young player. Even in football and basketball, in varsity basketball that year with Rich, just being around Rich, he never said too many words. He was a quiet individual that just played and led by example. He was an awesome, awesome role model for somebody that was in 10th grade. You know, Billy talks about Terry and Ronnie. I had Rich, Keith, Jimmy, and Ed. It was awesome. And the guy that's going to introduce Rich is one of my guys, Jimmy Nix.
That handshake right there was a real honor. Like everybody talked about before us here, there was 2 names that you would see up on the, well, 3 names really. But I want to just say real quick, the Denman and Krieger, and those were the names that you aspired. You know, that was Wheaton. You know, when you walked in, for a young man, for a young boy, that was the names, Denman, Krieger.
Give Billy a hand.
So that was a true honor. And let me say this, that where the school is now, we were talking about it earlier, like, oh my God, it's like you come up Randolph Road and it's so overwhelming. You know, it just takes, there's no, it's like shaded the whole road there. It's just huge. And for me as a young boy, you know, for most of the young guys in here tonight, old guys in here tonight, that you would see that gold helmet, and I would be like, oh my God, there's Notre Dame, you know, and here these guys are sitting in here tonight, you know, so it was really, Wheaton tradition, for me, Wheaton is like Notre Dame. It was just so big, bigger, like, I just couldn't imagine playing for Wheaton High School. So with that said, I personally was blessed enough to coach 27 years, and it was all young men, boys, young men. And I started a personal training business a few years ago, and some of my first clients were high school girls. And yeah, I thought I had some tough kids. I coached football predominantly, and I thought I had some really tough kids. But I'm here to tell you that the 27 years that I coached, I have never worked with a young women have a drive and a determination that that you see seldom. And to each one, it's not like it was one, it was 5, 6, 7. Very few did I have to motivate. They motivated me as a trainer. So I was able to be here for Pat Berry's induction, and I didn't, you know, I was caught up in that gold football helmet. You know, so I didn't really get to see the side of the female sports. But I'm here to tell you that I have more respect today and admiration for the women and the Pat Berrys in this room and that are out there. So I just want to make a shout out to you guys. And I'm gonna, those of you that know me, start this time, because I'm gonna keep this short. I'm gonna take my name badge off, and I thought, wow, how cool, you know, the people that were selected to represent, you know, her daughter. That was awesome. You know, that was really awesome. And I thought, well, why did he select me? And I couldn't figure out why he selected me. Because Rich doesn't talk. Since second grade, I've talked for Rich. So that's why I'm here. It's nothing of mine. It's none of my merits. I'm Rich's mouthpiece. I love Ricky Prather. I call him Ricky. And we knew him as Richard. He came to Beersville Elementary School, I think it was 67, 68. And before that, you know, every dude in that school had an opportunity to win a first place ribbon. Everybody at Beersville Elementary School had, you know, I'm going to get that ribbon this year. Here comes Ricky Prather. And after that, I just waited for the field day hot dogs. I was just, you're not going to win that. I want to try. Ricky won everything. Everything. I remember we became dear friends early on, and I had a newspaper route, the old Washington Star. I said, hey, Ricky, why don't you help me deliver newspapers? And he did. I don't know why he liked hanging out with me. But so we delivered papers together, and I remember that every time we went by a house that had a dog, Ricky would tremble. Yeah, and Rick, you know, I was about this tall, and Ricky was about this tall. So we were like the odd couple, Ricky and I. And one day a dog got loose. And Ricky, I mean, he was gone. You couldn't see him. I just saw the dust go by. And I went home, and I played Little League football then. And I said, Dad, we got to get Ricky on the team. Right? I was excited. Man, this guy can run, he can jump, he can catch, you know? All I got to do is hang out with him. And but he was too big. So Ricky went and signed up for Wheaton Boys Club. And, you know, I'm here, I was 85 pounds, thinking he's going to be on my team. And Ricky had to play 115, 125. He played for, not Mantel, no, anyway, I knew the name real well, just left my head. But, so Ricky was too big to play with the normal sized kids, right? And so he really didn't get an opportunity to excel at that sport like most of us did through Boys Club. And it wasn't until he got into Wheaton is when it really shined. I'm going to tell a story, and then I'm going to read a letter from our coach, Kenny Grace. Today, I was thinking, okay, what was one of them? I mean, there was so many that Ricky Prather. I mean, Keith and talked about him running up your back. You know, you thought you were blocking. The coach was like, yeah, man, that was a great block. And you're like, he just pushed me out of the way, you know. Ricky, and the reason, by the way, the reason Ricky ran like that, Ricky can't see. People think that Ricky Prather can see. And oh my God, run to like O.J. Simpson's book, run to daylight. Ricky couldn't run to daylight because he couldn't see daylight. Ricky ran over you. And how do I know this? Randolph Junior High. This is a true story. We're coming back, and we're playing a 2-1-2 zone defense. So we get back. I was up at the top of the key, 2 guard. Ricky was playing 5. That's the center. And all of a sudden, the ball's coming up to our right. I'm on the left, and I look over, and here's Ricky looking towards me. The ball's coming this way, and I say, Ricky. He's like, I'm good. I can see. It's a sweat in my eyes. So that's why he's being inducted for football. So we get to meet in high school, and Ricky, he's just dominating. You know, it was really, you know, fortunately I was able to be in the games, and so I didn't get to watch him as much, but I knew that he was doing well. And at one particular game, it was our senior year, and at that time, in the early years, it was Richard Montgomery and Wheaton, and at that time, it was Gaithersburg and Wheaton. Richard Montgomery had kind of like fizzled out a little bit, and Gaithersburg had a tremendous defense. So we went into overtime, and in overtime you get the ball to 10, and you get 4 plays to get it in. And like like Tony was saying with Kenny, Kenny would say, when it got tough, just give the ball to Ricky. So it was Rick, and I had to ask. Today, another friend of ours, Jimmy Siegman, couldn't be here, but I knew he'd know the answer to this because he was our center at 140 pounds. He was our center. And I said, Jimmy, was it all to the right or was it all to the left? If I ask Tippett, he's going to say it's all to the right. If I ask, I don't have Waters here, but if I were to ask Mike Waters, he'd say it was to the left. So I said, Jimmy, what was it? And he said, he verbatim said the plays, but what he really honed in on was it was 4th down at the 2. And of course, first 3 were giving Ricky the ball. And so there's, Kenny's over there, we're in the huddle going, go for it, go for it, go for it. Kenny didn't put this in his letter when I read it, but the story has it from Jimmy Siegman is Kenny wanted to kick the field goal, and through our persistence of go for it, go for it, go for it, he's like, okay, when in doubt, give the ball to Ricky. And Richard Prather ran over half the Gaithersburg defense to score the winning touchdown, and that's how he played the game, because he couldn't see. So he didn't run around you, he ran over you. Ricky went on to play, well, let me read this letter from Kenny Brace, who couldn't be here tonight. It says, Dear Rich, I am so pleased that you have been selected as a member of the Wheaton High School Athletic Hall of Fame. Many high school athletes demonstrate outstanding athletic ability, but few go on to be inducted into both their high school and their college Hall of Fame, as you did at Frostburg. And even fewer are talented and dedicated enough to succeed at the professional level as you did. Your friends, family, former teachers, and coaches have found memories regarding your athletic achievements. I would like to share one of mine that I believe sums up just how talented and valuable you were as a high school athlete. In the late 70s, Wheaton and Gaithersburg were serious rivals, and I'd already put that in my little speech. They were serious rivals and played a number of exciting football games. On one occasion, the 2 talented teams were tied after regulation. The tiebreaker involved giving each team the ball at the 10-yard line and 4 plays to score. When it was our turn to have the ball, we knew there was only one score. When it was our turn to have the ball, we knew that there was only one decision to make. We would continue to give the ball to Rich Prather until he would punch it into the end zone against one of the best defenses in the state. On 4th and goal, you did just that, Rich, and secured the victory for the Knights. There were many other times when the load was placed squarely on your shoulders, and you always responded with an outstanding effort. You gained the respect and admiration of your teammates to a degree that is rarely experienced due to your great play and determination. You were also the great combination of an unselfish teammate and a quiet leader who led by example. While it is fun to reflect on one's athletic ability, there are other qualities that last longer and give a clearer picture of the man. I have always been impressed with some of your character traits that are not always mentioned when describing outstanding athletes. You are not boastful, self-centered, shallow, or selfish. You treat others with respect, kindness, politeness, and consideration. You demonstrate a fine work ethic, a willingness to help others, a love of family and friends, a deep faith and high degree of loyalty, all wrapped in a humble person. I wish I could be with you today, Rich, at the celebration of your induction into the Wheaton Hall of Fame. I respect greatly all that you have accomplished and the man you are. I admire you greatly and value your friendship. Those in attendance are privileged to be in the company of one of Wheaton's best. A Wheatonite that we can all be proud of. Congratulations, Rich. That says a lot right there. That's huge. I'm going to skip over what Rich did in college. And I just want to